Time to level up. The Chinese have begun trialing a remotely controlled battle tank as part of plans to upgrade its armed forces. China's medium-sized Type 59 tank is equipped with a 100 or 105mm cannon and typically requires a crew of 4 people to operate. The state is now testing an unmanned version of the tank with footage from Chinese media showing a soldier remotely driving the vehicle. Type 59 tanks were first used in the 1950s and are due to retire, but can be equipped with artificial intelligence to turn them into autonomous vehicles. They will be able to work with other unmanned equipment and integrate information from satellites, aircrafts, or submarines. For now, the unmanned Type 59 tanks still have technical issues and will likely go through more testing and tweaking before they can be fully combat capable. You be the judge. Kid leaks on elevator buttons and gets stuck. When some people, a kid from Chongqing in China in this case, use an elevator, they just have to be different. This little guy jumped on the elevator on February 23rd and then decided he would release some soy sauce from his little dragon. He one-ups himself, setting his sights high on the elevator control panels. After he was ready to get out, karma kicked in and the door malfunctioned, scaring the piss out of the kid. Well, maybe not piss. Tinkle Toes later had to be rescued by maintenance crews. The Yellow Rainer said he didn't do it, and his dad believes him. Unfortunately, the video exposes some leaks in the kid's story.
China militarizes 7 islands in the disputed South China Sea. Despite Chinese President Xi Jinping previously stating that China did not intend to pursue militarization in the South China Sea, satellite images released by a U.S. think tank reveal the contrary. China appears to have militarized its 7 artificial islands in the South China Sea. At Gavin Reef, a central structure is surrounded by 4 extended arms. 2 of the arms likely host anti-aircraft guns, while the other 2 may hold close-in weapon systems. Hughes Reef has point defense structures similar to those at Gavin Reef. The structure of the facility at Johnson Reef has been modified. The central facility has 2 arms, with one holding an anti-aircraft gun and the other holding a close-in weapon system. Another gun and close-in weapon system and a radar were seen on a separate structure on the island. The central facility at Quattrone Reef is completely separate from the point defense systems. Experts believe the northeastern and southwestern ends of the island each host structures with anti-aircraft guns, close-in weapon systems, and radar. At Fiery Cross Reef, 4 structures are positioned toward the sea. This allows the anti-aircraft guns and close-in weapon systems to cover any kind of approach to the base. Similar designs are being observed at Mischief Reef, where 2 of 4 structures have been completed. At Subi Reef, only 1 of 4 structures have been completed. The installations would likely support a future deployment of mobile surface-to-air missile platforms, similar to the HQ-9 system deployed to Woody Island in the Paracel Islands. The director of the Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative says China's actions are definitely militarization. He added that the Chinese can argue the structures are for defensive purposes, but such weaponry indicates they are preparing for a future conflict.
China can't even take an eye roll. A female reporter broke the Chinese internet when she rolled her eyes during China's annual parliament session Tuesday morning. As China's annual session of the country's legislature marched into week 2, the often scripted media Q&A session proved too much for one journalist. When listening to a fellow reporter speak to a Chinese official, Yicai financial news reporter Liang Xiangyi was so unimpressed by the long-winded question that took some 40 seconds to ask. And here we go. Let's see it again. After her reaction was captured by China's CCTV, the moment quickly spread across Chinese social media like wildfire. GIFs and videos inspired by Liang's epic eye roll flooded Chinese social media, but unfortunately they were all later deleted by China's censors. Liang's name also ended up being one of the most censored terms on Chinese social media platform Weibo. Guess that's quite an accomplishment for a reporter? The original question was basically about how China is going to supervise overseas assets, but there appeared to be a really long and boring build-up before the reporter actually got to the question. China takes the fun out of Steam. Reports coming out of China this week say that the Chinese Communist Party has blocked Steam community access. Oh, and that's totally, absolutely nothing to do with Jack Ma's Tencent launching its very own Steam-like store, WeGame, in September. According to reports, the Steam store is still accessible, but the writing may very well be on the wall for the Valve-run gaming website in China. And if that's the case, Valve will be feeling the pinch. Reportedly, millions of their customers come from the PRC. PUBG was banned in the country, but was allowed back in only after Tencent agreed to help make the Chinese version socialist-friendly. And yo, that's what Skyrim mods on Steam really need. Some socialism with Chinese characteristics. So it's see ya later for Dragonborn. Hello, Chairman Mao. In China, someone's always watching. Facial recognition is popping up everywhere in China as the government looks to technology to keep constant track of its people and what they're up to. Chinese apartments equipped with keyless entry use cameras to scan and verify residents' faces. But although convenient, the technology is also being used by authorities to monitor individuals and identify alleged bad guys and persons of interest. The project, called Sharp Eyes, intends to connect public security cameras with those in private compounds and buildings to form a nationwide surveillance and data-sharing network. Sharp Eyes' aim is to compile information on citizens, including criminal and medical records, travel and purchase history, and social media use, and link it to a face and identity card. Its name derives from a communist slogan and is linked to Chairman Mao's attempts to get citizens to spy on each other. Supposedly, the system can track suspicious behavior to help eliminate crime, which in China can be anything from homicide to speaking out against the government. Ultimately, the goal is for total surveillance, and in a country where being an ethnic minority or an activist can get you flagged, that prospect is frightening.